Hello everyone, October the 24th. Can you feel it? How everything has just jumped up a few levels in intensity? We are in Scorpio now. It's just the first degree. And you won't believe, here in the western of Canada we had that beautiful summer weather for weeks on end here on the coast where I am right now. They had over 100 days without rain, which is unheard of in this season. Today was a weather change. It didn't start raining yet, but it was overcast and it was cold for the first time. The temperature kind of dropped at least for 15 degrees or something. And it seems this is the pattern in the whole western part of Canada. So this is interesting that this synchronicity with the weather change into Scorpio, where it gets just, we have changed gears. So yes, on the 22nd we had Saturn changing direction, reaching the valley, and within hours Venus and the Sun had their superior conjunction, which was the birth of the evening star. This is the culmination, as I told you in my earlier video, of Venus 584-day cycle. That's how long it takes for Sun, Earth and Venus to do one mutual dance. And I have this here for you, just as a little it's pretty well known, this diagram. It's not this one, it's this one here, which I want to show you first. Venus path through the zodiac, and with the distance from the center, the distance from Earth. So at its closest distance it was in January, on January the 9th to be exact. We will get back to that in a minute. And since in the last 9 months Venus has moved away from the Sun, and then eventually from Earth's perspective against closing in on the Sun as it starts to moving behind it. And right now we are here, and Venus is exactly behind the Sun as seen from Earth. So the Sun is in the middle, Venus is as far away as it can be, and then slowly it will gain more closeness again, and then by June or so 2023 it will make another loop. That's the bigger picture, and you see the beautiful 5 petal flower this Venus pattern makes. Over 8 years there is 5 different cycles of 1.6 or some years by average, which 1.6 is again a golden means number. There's lots of golden means, golden ratio here with Venus. The 5 by so to say is the only number which structurally is only found in alive nature, in plants, in the skeleton of animals, and in the human being for sure, in rose flowers, in the 5-fold 5 fingers, 5 toes. The 5 is a number which consists of extreme power and life force, and is in constant motion, and that's one aspect of Venus too. So this all happened in the last degree of Libra, really pushing it to the edge, that culmination, you would say. And well, I might have to speak a little lower again. It's in the middle of the night, and I might wake someone up here where I say, so I will try to be not too loud, even though I'm excited. So anyway, it's Diwali as well in India tomorrow, or actually today, the 24th of October. Diwali starts, and it's a festival which lasts about 5 days. India's biggest and most important holiday of the year. The festival gets its name from the row of clay lamps that Indians light outside their homes to symbolize the inner light that protects from spiritual darkness. The festival is as important to Hindus as Christmas is to Christians. And it is, they don't say this here, let me just, there's was another link, let me see, which says it's the festival of the light winning over darkness. Yeah, you can look it up. It's quite amazing. Yeah, it doesn't say it here particularly. Yes, here South India celebrates Diwali as the day that Lord Krishna defeated the demon Narakasura. So it is that theme of defeating darkness, defeating the evil forces. So this is happening this week, and also this is just a day or two away of the solar eclipse. And then we will also have a Mercury occultation today and a Venus occultation on the 25th. So there's lots going on here, and on top of that, this Venus rebirth as evening star, which is super important to understand. Venus in the first phase of morning star is is kind of ruled by is the ruler of Taurus in that sense. It's all about self-love and straightforward, sensual, keen to meet one's own needs. That's kind of the base, and then we have come to a maturation, and then we are able to release and share and become and give it back to the collective. That is the evening star, which just now started expressing that way. Venus is still too close to be seen. It will take a few weeks, probably till around the 1st of December, when Venus is ahead of the Sun by at least 10 degrees, that you can see her in twilight. And then by next April, May, Venus will have the greatest elongation and being extremely bright, before then again coming back in between Sun and Earth to restart a whole new cycle. So anyway, I just felt compelled today, this morning, to look at the whole Venus cycle, and that's what I found. I found quite some remarkable synchronicity again. You might remember I said, if you listen to my last video, that this GRB, this gamma ray burst, an unprecedented one on October 9, came from the zodiacal position of 18 degrees and 16 minutes in Capricorn. Now see that, look at that. That is the last time Venus was exactly between Sun and Earth 18 degrees 43 Capricorn. It gave me goosebumps when I saw that. This is reinforcing this gamma ray burst is an intergalactic consciousness which is sparking its contribution into this solar system bubble and into this little atom of creation far away in a distant galaxy. You could say we are here as a little protected evolutionary bubble, and we get that massive energy boost from the cosmic collective, if you want, which, I mean, this is a wave which goes all through the universe. I mean, this event happened actually 2.4 billion years ago. That's how long it took to reach here, kind of the edge of that wave. Anyway, 1816 Capricorn is the degree where this GRB emerged from. Totally giving life to this base chart. And now I just did a few overlays, just show you these first. Let's just jump into it. So inside we now have the 9th of January chart, the beginning of that cycle. And outside we have the superior conjunction, which just was yesterday. So let's see how they come together and what are the synchronicities here. The ascendant here at 19 degrees Cancer is in the direct line of that 18 degrees 43. Then the consciousness axis of yesterday's chart of the birth of the evening star here on this Neptune Pallas conjunction, which is the understanding, the penetration of our mental abilities into the Neptunian world, of being able to truly see the challenges and the different layers of realities upon realities, depending on from where you look, how you which bandwidth you're taking into consideration, and all that, meaning as soon as you get into that depth perception of Neptune, you can see there's no absolute truth. Everything is relative to the parameters. So discernment is the outcome, and then we have this exactly T-squaring the black moon of the original chart. Cool. And Mars. Actually, this is a signature of the base chart of that Venus cycle, and I guess it's really deserves to have a bit of a closer look. Well, I mean, you have seen this one, I showed you this one. I mean, it's epic. This is really the time now of bringing everything up to the surface, all the inner darkness which is still there unattended yet. So everything wants attendance coming out, and Pallas perfectly here on the horizon, the ascendant. Yes, this is a time of recognition and of truth, of justice. and of understanding. I guess that's the comprehension which is behind it, which is a very philosophical place, which is the base for transcendence. We have to understand the principle of duality, how these both polarities are necessary, the 1,000 different subnodes between white and black. There's no black and white just like that. There is 1,000 gradients in between which make the picture rich and full and bring it to life. I guess it is really this deep insight which is which is possible right now. But let's have a quick peek back to the original chart, the beginning of that whole journey in January, when Venus was exactly between Sun and Earth. So, yes, the Mars Black Moon opposition here with Pallas and Neptune, this gave the clear warning that this would be a very confrontational and difficult time, as I mean, the Black Moon here at the cusp of the 9th house, this is really pushing propaganda and false perceptions in Gemini, with great raffiness and method and ruthlessness. I guess that's all coming together with that Mars. And then the T-square handle here of Pallas is really the saving grace here, trying to sort all that out and to be the referee. In that sense, this is kind of a way to see a T-square. There is the opposition. These are the two forces in duel, which are clashing hard into each other. And then there's here the handle, which is the one which integrates and which makes the bridge. Then naturally the 0 degree nodes here, 0 degree Gemini and 0 degree Sagittarius, the south node, an extremely powerful axis. If you overlay the 64 hexagrams according to the human design, and for those new, you can find the exact breakdown on my old website, thecosmoswithin.org. Hexagram 20, contemplation, and hexagram 34, which is greatness in excess, or no, it's not correct, great power. Let me see. Now I'm challenging myself. Sorry about that. But now I need to know. Okay, let's just do this quickly here. Just bear with me. See, I'm constantly learning too. I'm not perfect by no means. I mean, I'm just showing you my findings and trying to explain you the symbols. I more and more step back from giving more defined interpretations. So let's quickly see what is hexagram 34's name again. It is the power of the great, right? The power of the great. So this is a great force in the right direction, and also a great force which holds back, as it's the south node. So contemplation is the key. Now, yes, this was kind of what I wanted to quickly share with you as another thing which stunned me. So why am I thinking to look at this Venus synodic chart? Now, I'm in Vancouver right now, and look what this moment would have looked here in Vancouver. If I would have been here, and I'm here now. Sun, Venus, and the ascendant 28 degrees 25 Cancer. And look at what the global chart of that moment has, that degree at midheaven. So that's how it works. That's the magic of a location, and also of being in resonance with your environment and with the energies that are around. So I was guided by this energy which resonated with Vancouver and brought this degree to my attention, as this was at the ascendant. Even though I wasn't here, this was kind of, this is imprinted here in this location. That's how it works. That's, time is passing in a way. Yes, every next second is a new reality, but they all still exist. That's the real truth. Nothing withers away. It's more like you have a laser beam scanning through the dark, and you see one pixel at a time, and even though the pixel you were just seeing before has disappeared, it is still there, and it's quite magical, because it's time and space in the end are holographic projections. They will collapse into singularity, are collapsing, and more this is happening. There's more and more signs that yes, we are moving towards a singularity event of all and everything, which was predicted by the project Looking Glass, Bill Woods. Those of you who have listened to me longer have heard his name. He was part of that CIA program, and he has come forward in 2011. There's some interesting interviews there with the lady from Avalon. Anyway, I don't want to go too far away from what I'm presenting here. Otherwise, it's always, my videos get too long. Huh? Yeah, I would like to keep them a bit shorter. Anyway, that's another topic. So this base chart here, there's a few things I want to point out. The Libra rising, which is really the intention to bring peace and harmony, and also the ability to listen and to focus on what happens around us. Libra is very, at best, just allowing things to pass and be like a chameleon, blend in, become invisible almost as a spectator. That's kind of the thing I get from this Libra rising here. And out of this kind of passivity, yes, we are then able to, at the right moment, to very forceful and clearly make our statements with that Aries energy. And interesting now, if we overlay charts, let's just now overlay this from January the 9th, that beginning of that cycle, with the that intergalactic spark, which was injecting life, injecting some higher dimensional consciousness into the system. Now, this, first of all, let's first go back to this chart once more, the one of the of the burst. What struck me immediately was that perfect Venus-Moon opposition, which was pointing very strongly that Venus was the main target here of receiving that energy. And if we, you see this Aries moon, 12-15, and if we now overlay the two charts, then you see it is almost the same moon. Then also, aside from the radio burst, the X-ray burst coming from this location, 1843, actually 1816 to be exact, there's also the black moon here in that line again. Always in the black moon comes in, this is shadow work. This is inviting us, gentle or not so gentle, if we are not ready for seeing it ourselves. We are pushed with our head, nose onto it, and have to then handle it. So better we are preparing ourselves to really do that homework and not pushing it away. It's easier to do it at our own, in our own rhythm, than being forced. That's kind of the picture I'm getting. So Pluto was almost at the exact same position as it was in January 2611. That was when Pluto was here just a few degrees from the Sun, and now, as we are at the pretty much at the beginning of a new yearly Pluto cycle. Pluto just turned direct a few weeks ago. It's again back to that same degree. It's then what else was there standing out? Naturally, Mars here in opposition to Mars. Interesting. In that same axis we talked about before. Then if we look at the superior conjunction now of yesterday, when Venus stepped into its Libra role of becoming a more socially oriented force, and actually I found a few really good commentaries on that. I wanted to read you this quickly. I think it's which one is it? Yes, okay, yeah, actually this one is first. So Venus as a morning star or evening star, in the Venus cycle, the superior conjunction, that is when it becomes a evening star corresponds to the opposition and the full moon. It is a moment of fulfillment of Venusian values and goals, or the beginning of a realization of failure to integrate new Venusian qualities into the fabric of personality. Now this is the two sides. Naturally everything has two sides, and I see it, if we, the ones who are working towards, I would say, in rising the frequency of our on our planet, those are seeing a fulfillment of their goals and values to start showing themselves. And I guess that's what I personally have heard many people say, and I have met quite a few in the last few weeks as I'm on the road. Pretty much everybody has come to a place of feeling better than a few months ago. Many people I have heard having had great success stories of personal integration and getting closer to their goals, health-wise also improving. There's many good stories. On the other side, those who are working in the wrong direction of trying to undermine and sabotage and or just being valuable pawns because of whatever fear of losing income and whatnot, they will start beginning to realize failure, that they were not really doing the right thing. So it is really a moment of truth which is happening right now. In the first instance, the second half of the Venus cycle symbolizes distillation of meaning and purpose from prior experience. In the latter instance, the cycle tends to become a closed circuit of devolution, repeating past failures and shortcomings. That means it's really then an accelerated self annihilation of that force who is meant to leave, whom we are pushing out. Further, the same author, Michael R. Mayer, he says here, okay, just bear with me. Okay. Venus evening star types internalize their emotional experiences, both the pleasant and unpleasant. So when their emotions do fully surface, they often erupt with pent-up force. So it is kind of a great pressure can be having been built up, and now it wants to release itself with force. So this is certainly something we might see over the coming months. So this is a really good article. You can kind of stop for a moment and read it if you like. So yes, Diwali is too, Festival of Lights, and then this again was the article I referred to, which was in Space Weather. It's now Space Weather Archive. If you go to Space Weather page and put in the archive October the 17th, then you can find the link to this event, because this article was published on the 17th. And okay, now let's change gears here a little bit. One thing I found super interesting was the alignment with the Mayan calendar. Okay, let's go directly to this one. So on January the 9th, when this cycle started, January the 9th is 1 Chuen. This already back then gave a very clear indication this would be a super powerful cycle. Then on the 22nd of October, 2 days ago, when the Venus evening star was born, 1 Caban. "13 days prior, October the 9th, 1 Can, the cosmic seed." How appropriate. It was really the seeding of cosmic energies flowing in and empowering this Venusian energy. And then on top of that, let's now go to this chart here. Bear with me. The one, this one, right? The superior conjunction. 29-26 Libra and Homia 29-28. Within 2 mere minutes of arc applying, that means closing in on Homia, which is a very slow one. Homia, rebirth, birth by fire. Homia is the goddess who created all the Hawaiian Islands. That's the mythology behind this character. Reform is a very big word for Homia. It's that kind of fiery enthusiasm, power to push forward into new dimensions and recreate is really a word I could use. It's remodeling and giving things a new shape, a new form, a new appearance. But it's more than that. Homia is a powerful force and entering Scorpio on November the 12th. For the first time, and then naturally looping back into Libra again a few months down the road. But the next few months are the deciding factor. We are so close to it. I mean, the full moon of November 8th is, as I already mentioned, is out of this world. The alignment of Uranus and the occultation of Uranus and the total lunar eclipse all coming together in Scorpio. Scorpio, by the way, is the second sign of the fall season. The first sign is Libra, which is kind of the beginning of the collectivization of integrating the individual energy into the collective, the greater good. So this is kind of informal Libra. It's okay, coming to know each other, introducing, yes, my name is Jim, yes, hi, and socializing, becoming friends. And then when we move into Scorpio, we get into the intimate meeting, the deeper emotional connections we build with deep bonds and lasting experiences. Scorpio is the sign of the merger between male and feminine energies. It is the sign of union, and of, in that sense, naturally, recreation, death and rebirth, all that. Scorpio is an extremely deep sign. So we have just entered those waters as we speak, and so Rudyard, he names, he gives keywords for every 15 degrees of the zodiac. So his keywords of Libra are transfiguration and reconstruction, and then we move into communion and faith. So it gets intimate and spiritual, you could say, because faith is really a spiritual term. Faith is in something which we cannot directly see or perceive. It is based on that knowing, the sense of belonging, and all of that, of oneness, and of a greater force which holds everything together, a divine intelligence, whatever you call it. So yes, I want to show you a few more charts here as I have them here. So this is the synodic Venus cycle again, with the intergalactic gamma burst. I guess we looked at it, this one already, right? This is the one we haven't looked at yet. Venus rebirth as a evening start just 2 days ago, and 10 days ago or so, 13 days ago, that spark which brought life into it is on the outer side. So let's see how that works. So Mercury and the Moon, Mercury and the Sun. I'm just showing you the synastry here to start with. Naturally, Pluto's at the same place. That's only a week apart. All the big planets, the slow planets, will be at pretty much the same degree. But we focus on the angles too. And then we see the okay. I saw way more before. I should make notes. Yeah, I mean, this Mercury black moon square, and here's the Sun. Yeah, I don't see what I wanted to show you, sorry about that. But this one definitely is worth looking at too. Well, I guess we did already visit that one, sorry about that. I'm just sometimes anyway, here we are. So let's move on to the Mercury occultation of tomorrow. Right, with the 10 degree Aries rising. Now, this is where the moon was in January, and this whole series began. So Mercury links in here to this lunar energy, which means bringing together the kind of the precognition, the sense of what has been going on with which is the moon, kind of the feeling, and really bringing light into that. That's that moon Mercury theme to start with, the moon hiding behind Mercury hiding behind the moon, and it is related to Venus again, naturally. Venus conjunct the Sun here. Yes, it's all a setup to make us recognize emotional patterns and give names to things which we might have not yet fully analyzed and bring them into context. That's kind of the sense I'm getting here. Bringing together our mind with our deeper perception, bringing them into congruence. I guess that's a part of a healing process. And again, I mean, we looked at this in my last video, that Pholus Orcus conjunction here, again here highlighted, which in a nutshell says, be ready to go through a difficult passage. It's worth it. It might be painful to start with, but it's definitely worth it. It leads to a much higher plateau of reality, and it's worth it. It will open new opportunities, new pathways which cannot even be dreamt of at this point. But we first have to go through this bottleneck. That's the Quasar energy. BNR is the one who is saying, bring it on, I'm ready. It's that freedom fighter energy, innovative and enthusiastic. So this is a beautiful chart in itself. I mean, and then just a day after, I guess this is the culmination, if you want. I mean, it's not the day after, it's just hours after the eclipse. You see, actually more than an hour than anything. So it is pretty much within the eclipse is that Venus occultation happening at the same time. The moon still partly covering the sun, and now Venus also goes behind the moon. So this is again super rare that things like that happen. And this occultation of Venus is happening pretty much right over the zero meridian. Here I have it. That is the path where, if it were dark, it could be seen Venus disappearing behind the moon, but naturally it's bright daylight. They're all there together, the sun, moon and Venus. But you see, this is the zero meridian. So it's really quite amazingly symmetrical, right at the center of Eastern and Western Hemisphere. That's kind of the division line, zero meridian. So with Jupiter here in angular position, And then, okay, let's see what else. I wanted to read you a few of the symbols, of the Sabian symbols, to end this session. Let's start with the degree where Venus and the Sun started this cycle, and where this galactic spark it was arising from the 19th degree of Capricorn. Oh, give me a sec. Okay, press the wrong button here. Let's just wait it out. Okay, here we go. That's the one I wanted to bring up. So it's the 19th degree of Capricorn. Naturally, I have not marked it here, but that's where the source of that galactic burst was, and that's where Venus and the Sun had met in January. This is a 5-year-old child carrying a bag filled with groceries. The keynote: rising to the occasion when asked to assume social responsibilities ahead of one's normal development. And the keyword is accelerated growth. We are really pushed as a humanity, it seems, to wake the fuck up. Sorry, my language. That's what it feels. And what the text here, Rudyard writes, is what seems to be implied at this stage of the cyclic process is the value of early conditioning in teaching one how to fulfill the responsibilities of everyday life in our modern society. It is this 20th scene, and each scene consists of 15 degrees. This 20th scene, actually the second half of Capricorn, has the name group performance. And today it is evident that children at an early age are expected to assume a family role which at times will strain their natural capacities. This is part of the accelerating pace of our technological society. Well, that's one way of seeing it. I really see it here much more fundamental, as we are really pushed to integrate, to grow up fast. I mean, you could see humanity is just going through puberty. We're coming out of the believing in whatever the beautiful stories children are told, like Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny and whatnot. All these beautiful stories of childhood are now to be left behind, and naturally it's much more than that. These are just allegories. It's growing up, becoming self-responsible, and in that sense taking on the role to serve and be happy to do that, as it brings lots of contentment, return. I mean, you give love and you receive it back. It's really growing into this singularity And the more we are able to grow up fast, the greater the acceleration is. It's really quite a spiral, and it goes ever more intense. The only way to really deal with it is to relax into it and to know that you are nature. You are nature. You have not asked to be here. At least there's no conscious memory unless you're very special. I do not have a personal memory of having asked to come here, I shall say. And so it is. So I am an expression of nature, and if we accept that, then this is all there which is necessary. Once you truly realize that you are connected, you go and feel that you are tuning into the Earth's grid, and you're being nourished, and you're getting the right information at the right time. Everything is falling in place. All that is that 11:11 moments, whatever you call them, little reminders. Yes, things are moving perfectly well. I'm getting them all the time. You certainly too. I mean, this is the time of more and more synchronicities. It's just really magical. Then the other degree I wanted to read is the 3rd degree of Scorpio. That is where tomorrow's eclipse will culminate. The sun is at 2 degrees 00 and some seconds of arc, so it is just at the beginning of that 3rd degree, which reads: a house-raising party in a small village enlists the neighbors' cooperation. Here you have it again. The feeling of community demonstrated in a basic joint effort. Is that very beautiful? We are in a basic joint effort. That's very promising. It's like coming together to help a member of the community to build their new home. Everybody is coming in support and chipping in. Cooperation, that's the key word here. And then the 3rd one I have wanted to read you, and I will end it with this, is where Venus was and the sun was when the evening star was born 2 days ago, the 30th degree of Libra. The 3 mounts of knowledge on a philosopher's head. I have read that before, I know, but it's really worth repeating and going a bit deeper. The fulfillment of man's power of understanding. The fulfillment of man's power of understanding. At whatever level of existence the person operates. So it means it's an upgrade for everyone. Each being, wherever they are right now or have been, is able to integrate to a higher level of recognizing what is and what not. A true philosopher is a man who is able to understand, not merely know, the processes of life, as he comes to experience them directly. He is the man of wisdom, different indeed from the man of science. For while there must be knowledge before understanding, Knowledge alone can be both barren and destructive of wisdom. We know that. This peculiar symbol refers, of course, to phrenology. Anyway, that we leave that. That's more kind of an explanation of that particular image. The fifth stage symbol is the last of the Libra series. This fifth stage symbol is the last of a 5 degree sequence. There's, as I said, Rudyard groups each sign into 15 degrees twice, and then each of the 15 degrees is again substructured by 3 5-degree rhythms. It's really very intricate and beautiful. It makes lots of sense. So it's a final phase in that sense of a 5-degree sequence, and naturally also of the whole sign. It's a culmination on all levels, the 30th degree. Understanding and wisdom develop in terms of the life of community and through experiences provided by interpersonal and group relationships. Cultural factors are always involved, even though true wisdom transcends cultural values and is rooted in the essential nature of man. What is at stake here is a holistic approach to knowledge based on universals. Very beautiful, again, extremely promising. Just to finish, I wanted to give you a quick preview. That is the partial solar eclipse of the 25th of Mercury here at the highest. Yes, Mercury again. And that's very close to where Mercury had its occultation with the moon and the 22nd degree, and now it's in the 23rd, so it's right here in between. Yes, it's all about Mercury understanding, integration, and expanding our mind. And again, you have the 90-degree angle with the black moon here and Palace. That same theme which we had in the January 9th chart. Just to zoom back to it for one more second. See the black moon and Palace. It is here. Anyway, and last but not least, that's the November 8th total lunar eclipse. Both the solar eclipse of tomorrow and the total lunar eclipse have Sagittarius risings. Sagittarius, adventure, expansion. It's gonna be loud and wild and it can get extremely polarized. This is a kind of a black and white energy. Anyway, it's going to be interesting, and it already is. And maybe on one last comment, it is important to really practice compassion. Many of us who are listening here, probably everyone is ahead of the game in that sense. You have done your homework, you know what is looming. Many people will be taken by surprise. Many people are still in the process of coming to terms with what happened, with what just happened the last few months, the last year or so. Many people are still in shock and unable to cope with the situation. They need help. They need your help, our help. And we are in this together. The more we support one another, the stronger we grow. It's that phase of building momentum, and the real full-on clash will happen in December and January. I keep repeating that. So expect a steady intensification. Things will not go the way we would like. It is not the way of least resistance we are choosing. It is the way of greatest integration in the long term. That's how we have to see it. So it might be a little slower, a little more unprecedented challenges, but they are tickling us to tackle resources, to resurface powers we didn't even know we had. It's the moment of urgency which triggers some rush of energy which allows us to access dimensions we were not even aware existed. Yes, that's kind of how I'm seeing it. It's gonna be biblical. Thank you for joining and listening. If you have made it right to the end, thank you, and talk to you soon. Bye bye.